This evening is the City of Duncan's special AGM, where we present awards. Please be upstanding for His Worship, Mayor Phil Kent and City Councillors.
If you'd still remain standing, we're going to have an opening prayer by Minister Plamont.
Let us pray. Gracious and loving Creator, loving God, we thank you for this evening. We thank you for this community of Duncan, for our mayor, our council members, our city staff, those who volunteer and serve in our community in so many ways. We ask for your inspiration and wisdom, and we ask that you would pour out your blessings on each and every one gathered here and on our entire community of Duncan. We ask these things in your name, loving God, Creator, Redeemer, and Sanctifier. Amen.
Thank you. Please be seated. Just to give you the order of business this evening, and thank you all for coming, we are going to have a brief business meeting, and then we will be moving on to the presentation of awards this evening, and followed by a reception, which you're all welcome to stay for and visit with family and friends and others who are here. So I'd like to call the meeting to order, and I would ask for a motion to approve the agenda for this evening. Moved by Councillor Staples and seconded by Councillor Jackson. All those in favor? Opposed? That motion's carried. We move on to new business, and we will be announcing committee appointments. These are the appointments for 2016, appointments to advisory committees. The Council approved the 2016 City of Duncan Advisory Committee appointments as follows. The Advisory Committee on Disability Issues, Councillor Jackson, who is the chair, and Councillor Bell. The Environment and Sustainability Committee, Councillor Staples, chair, and Councillors Duncan and Jackson. Tourism Committee, Councillors Duncan, chair, Councillors Horgan and Staples. And Totem Subcommittee, Councillor Staples. And so I would have a mover for that motion. Moved by Councillor Bell, seconded by Councillor Duncan. All those in favor? Opposed? That's carried. We move to external appointments, which are non-voting members. And the motion that Council approved the 2016 City of Duncan external appointments, non-voting members, as follows. Chamber of Commerce, Councillor John Horgan. Cowichan Community Kitchen, Councillor Sharon Jackson. Cowichan Exhibition Society Board, Councillor Tom Duncan. Cowichan Sportsplex, Councillor Roger Bruce. Cowichan Tribes Liaisons, myself and Councillor Michelle Stickles. Duncan Business Improvement Area Society, Councillor Michelle Staples. Duncan Cowichan Summer Festival, Councillor Tom Duncan. Valley Seniors Organization, Councillors Michelle Bell and Michelle Staples. Seniors Advisory Group, Councillor Sharon Jackson. Social Planning, Homelessness Issues, Councillor Michelle Bell. And Peace Bowl Committee, Councillor Michelle Staples. And a motion for that. Thank you. Councillor Bell, Councillor Jackson. Any discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? The motion carries. We move on to external appointments. These are voting members. The Council approved the 2016 City of Duncan external appointments, voting members as follows. Island Savings Centre Commission, Councillors Tom Duncan, Sharon Jackson, and Councillors Michelle Bell as alternate. CVRD, Mayor, myself, and Councillor Jackson as alternate. Vancouver Island Regional Library Board, Councillors Tom Duncan and John Horgan, alternate. North Cowichan Parks and Recreation Commission, Councillor Michelle Bell. CVRD, Community Safety Advisory Commission, Councillor Michelle Bell. And Joint Utilities Board, Councillors Roger Bruce and John Horgan. And a motion to that effect. Moved and seconded by Councillor Staples. Any discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? That's carried. We move to appointment of acting mayor and committee of the whole, and that council approve the 2016 acting mayor and committee of the whole chair appointments, and they are listed there for the months of January through December in alphabetical order for all councillors who serve 2 months each in that position, and I'll take a motion. Moved by Councillor Staples, second by Councillor Jackson. Any discussion? All in favor? Opposed? That's carried. We move also now to the key dates calendar for 2016, and that council approve the revised key dates calendar, which establishes council and committee meetings of the whole meetings for 2016 as attached to the December 7th, 2015 report of the Director of Corporate Services, and that notice be provided by posting the key dates calendar in public notice posting places, the city's website, and advertising in accordance with Section 94 of the Community Charter. Moved by Councillor Jackson, second by Councillor Duncan. Any discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? The motion carries. So we move to my annual address. And I'd like to begin by acknowledging our presence on the traditional territory of the Countil First Nation. And I welcome each and every one of you here this evening to witness the City of Duncan annual meeting, to review accomplishments and to recognize contributions by citizens of our community. I need to recognize some special guests here this evening, as always, and I would recognize Freeman here, Michael Coleman, who has just come through the door. And Glenn Mackey is also here this evening and is also a Freeman in the city. Thank you for coming. It's very appreciated. I would like to recognize something different this year, the Duncan Junior Council, and we have the mayor of the Junior Council here tonight, this evening, Jenny Kapp. Thank you for coming. We also have Raven Myron, who is a junior councillor. There he is. Okay, welcome, Raven, and Emma Kawanitz. Thanks, thank you, Emma. And really appreciate the contribution and the work they've done as a youth council for the City of Duncan. It's a unique position, and they are going as well to be presenting and working at a workshop with the Association of Vancouver Island Municipalities, which they have now put in place a youth conference and as part of our municipal conference. So we're very proud of their contribution and what they're doing. I'd like to recognize past councillors. Ray Cataret and Ken Newcomb are both here this evening. Welcome. And I think it's also important to recognize the CVRD. I believe we have Kerry Davis, who's a director for Area A Mill Bay. There he is over there. Welcome, Kerry. We have two past CAOs or administrators here this evening, and I'd like to recognize them. Paul Deville is here this evening. Welcome, Paul. And also the prior North County administrator, Jim Dias, is also here this evening. Welcome, Jim. I'd also like to always recognize the RCMP, who provides some great decorum to our annual meeting. And we have Sergeant Kurt Bosnell is here this evening, and Constable Ian Wenzel Eden. Welcome. It's important to acknowledge all of our dedicated city staff and employees for the hard work to support council in our community, and I thank them for their work all through the year. I also want to welcome our newest senior staff member, Felice Mazzoni, our Director of Public Works and Development Services. We look forward to the benefit of his broad education and experience. Council would also like to give a very special recognition to our Duncan Volunteer Fire Chief, Mike McKinley, and Deputy Chief Art Sanderson, all the officers and volunteer members, for their extra time and dedication throughout this year, especially during the fire hall seismic upgrade. It was a challenge, wasn't it, Mike? But the hall looks wonderful, and if you get a chance, please go and take a visit. This first year of our new council mandate has been extremely active, with many capital and policy projects completed or initiated. Examples include the Canada Avenue upgrades, Cedar Avenue rehabilitation, the Duncan Fire Hall seismic upgrade, and the continued flood mitigations projects with the municipality of North Countil, the CVRD, and Countil tribes. I want to recognize the extra efforts of all those involved, from our staff, consultants, contractors, and especially our businesses, citizens, and patrons for their generous patience. In the remaining years of our 4-year mandate, we expect that they will also be very active. We will work to complete a comprehensive asset management plan, initiate an official community plan review, and we will continue to work to improve our communication with the community and developing a new website to make it easier to connect and to provide services to residents and businesses. We will also embark on an amalgamation and governance review process with the District of North Countil that will determine our future in significant ways. It has been this Council's viewpoint that any process to review the benefits and costs of our community's governance should be directed and driven by citizens. This requires a commitment to both support a citizens' assembly and to allow full exploration of opportunities to better serve the public. The history of how our communities grew are distinct, and it was the citizens that petitioned for the succession of Duncan from North Countil over 100 years ago. We have asked our citizens if they are willing to explore these questions again, and they have said yes. We will not waver from our commitment to an open process to allow our community to determine its future. While we consider moving forward together, rest assured that we'll continue to collaborate with our neighbors, as we always have, to build a vibrant and resilient region that serves all of our interests. I'd like to say on behalf of Council and our entire Duncan family, I wish you all a very warm and wonderful holiday season, and Merry Christmas. So at this point, we're just going to move to the front of our desks, and we will begin to address the community awards. Okay, this is the really fun part of the evening, always. I hope that nobody dies in shock for the reason that they're here. I'd like to ask Councillor Jackson to come forward and present the City of Duncan Perpetual Arts Award for 2015.
Good evening, everybody. This is such a great honor for me, and it's going to be a big surprise to the person who this year has won the award, because she's not even here. But she's watching on TV right now. Where am I? Margot, where am I looking? Which camera am I looking at? Right up there? Hi, Betty Locke. So, Betty was born in Edmonton, Alberta, to Bert and Marguerite Robertson, who'd come from Manitoba. Her father ran his own seed and garden center business, while her mother remained home with Betty and her younger sister, Shirley. After public school, Betty attended the University of Alberta, where she completed a degree in education, after which she sought a second degree in fine art. Her teaching career followed with the Edmonton Public School Board at Westminster Junior High School. She first met her husband, Duncan, at university, and they reunited several years later when he joined the staff at Edmonton Public School Board. And they were married and moved to Calgary, where they both pursued teaching careers. Betty became a mother to 2 sons, Rob and Jason, a short time later. She then went on to obtain her master's degree in art education at the University of Oregon, and it was there that she discovered calligraphy and calligraphic art in 1977 through a community recreation class. The fit was phenomenal, considering her artistic abilities and creativity. She has taught in both secondary schools and in adult art education programs in both Calgary and in Duncan, and has had the pleasure of being invited to present workshops for many calligraphic guilds in Canada and the United States. And she's also been on the staff of several international calligraphy conferences. Betty and her husband retired in Duncan 20 years ago. She's a founding member of the local calligraphy guild and has seen the warmland calligraphers of the Cowichan Valley grow from a small meeting of 12 interested people to a large group of enthusiastic calligraphers now numbering well into the 70s. And for the past 18 years, she has devoted many hours of volunteer teaching time to Elder College. Seeing her students grow and become proficient in their lettering and related studies has been extremely rewarding. Her own work reflects her love of color and an interest in quality of line. Please join me in congratulating Betty Locke for being awarded the City of Duncan 2015 Perpetual Arts Trophy winner. But he's not, oh, yeah. So congratulations, Betty. In my opinion, this award is very long overdue. Your name will be inscribed on the City of Duncan Perpetual Arts Trophy, and when you come back to Duncan, please come to City Hall to pick up your Keeper Award of this beautiful wooden bowl, which I'm going to show you in a minute, entitled The Grecian Key Bowl by artist Dave Thompson. It's made of elm, walnut, African paduac, and I'd never heard of that. I had to look it up for this little speech, and tropical purple heartwood. May we please have another round of applause so that Betty can see how pleased we are for her.
Thank you, Councillor Jackson. So I'd like to ask Councillor Bruce to come forward and present the City of Duncan Perpetual Excellence of Sportsmanship Trophy for 2015. And this is going to a very special person.
Great honor to present this award. This is the 2015 Perpetual Trophy for Excellence in Sportsmanship, presented to Gina Jung, and Gina's right over here, and she's not allowed to come up just yet, but Gina, on a personal note, when I was 10 years old, I would go from Bruce's Grocery down to your parents' grocery store, and we had a wonderful time growing up in both stores. Gina's a couple years older, so I basically hung out with her younger brothers, Fulton and Eddie, but I think Wayne, is that Wayne in the back? And is Wally here too somewhere? Wally, where's, hi, Wally. And Eddie, oh my goodness. So just a great honor to present this award, and so much fun. Gina looked after all of the boys growing up, and she looked after me a little bit too. And whether we're at the community center or the high school or out at Sunfest, Gina's always out there volunteering, making everybody feel wonderful to be part of what she's involved with. And now I got to read the formal part, Gina, so hang on one sec here. Gina was born in Duncan in 1959 to parents Pat Jung and Sue Jung. She is the oldest of 6 siblings, Wayne, Janet, Wally, Fulton, and Edward. Her father, Pat Jung, volunteered a lot and brought many new activities to the community, in particular to the Chinese community. He also got all of the Jung children involved in the Duncan Basketball Association, which is where I first met them. They were all they excelled in this program, and Gina's brother Fulton thinks that perhaps this is where Gina got her volunteering genes from, and I would suggest he's right. Gina played basketball, volleyball, and field hockey throughout junior and senior high school. Her love for sports was evident. She graduated from Cowichan Secondary in 1977 and went on to college. After finishing college in the mid-'80s, she began to give back to the community. She coached basketball at Cal High, Francis Kelsey, Mount Provo, and Quamachin schools, as well as volleyball and field hockey. She helped to organize the 91 BC Winter Games in Duncan and was the sports coordinator for the basketball in the 2008 NAIG Games. 17 years ago, Gina had a son, Matthew, and Matthew's here somewhere. Where are you, Matthew? Put your hand up. He made the BC lacrosse team and going on to play lots of high-level lacrosse. Gina has been involved in some way with her son's sports team since day one, whether it's coaching, managing, or just volunteering in some capacity. She has sat on hockey and lacrosse executives and currently holds the position of Zone 6 rep for minor BC Lacrosse Association. The lacrosse scene in the Cowichan Valley would look very different if Gina had not been involved. Gina's passion to see kids grow in sports is overwhelming. She has hosted numerous tournaments, championships, playdowns, and officiated in several different sports. It is her love of sports and the kids that makes her step up and volunteer for positions that are in need. It is with great pleasure that I ask you to join me in congratulating Gina Jung for receiving the 2015 Perpetual Trophy for Excellence and Sportsmanship from the City of Duncan. Gina Jung. This trophy, Gina, is one you get to take home, and I'm told you have to bring it back. But I think she has it for a year. Is that correct? Or yeah, for a little bit. And this trophy you get to keep. And I think we're gonna, just before you take the trophy. No, but just before you take the trophy, did you want to say a couple of words?
Excited that I got the award, surprised. I'm happy to say that I've enjoyed living in Duncan, and it's given me all the opportunities to do the things in life, and I will continue to keep doing what I love till I'm ready to retire. Anyways, thanks everyone.
Thank you, Gina.
Thanks, Gina. I also had the opportunity to, I went to school with Gina, and so we were in the same class a few years, and she was really tough for a girl on the touch football field, I'll tell you. I want to ask Councillor Staples to come up and present the City of Duncan Commercial and Residential Awards for 2015. Councillor Staples.
I talk with my hands a lot, and I don't want that to just fly across the room. So it would be disappointing to everyone. So welcome, everyone. And tonight, I feel very lucky and honored for the award that I get to present. I was trying to think about how many years ago it was that I actually started first working for the Cowichan Green community. I know it was long enough that their offices were located in the back of a garden shed on Jubilee Street. 6 of us were crowded into 100 square feet, and we were working on the first Earth Day celebration. We knocked on people's doors trying to convince them to have free energy audits on their home, free, and spent most of our time explaining what an energy audit was, why we needed to have one, why would we grow food in our backyards, why should we save water, what is recycling, and what possible reason could we have to celebrate Earth Day. That was 12 years ago. That was before all the conversations that we're used to having now were happening. And in fact, if somebody had told me then that not only would these conversations be making their way into our daily world and on the front page of our news, but that the 2-story, close to 20,000 square foot Phoenix Motor Inn would one day be purchased by the very people working out of that garden shed, the Cowichan Green community, even with my favorite pair of rose-colored glasses on, I never would have believed it. But buy it they did, and under a dedicated board, and extraordinary staff, and fiery leadership, they transformed the building and themselves into a vibrant, social enterprising, community-valued property. Rezoned, upgraded, and repurposed under the supervision of architect Sylvia Bonnet, they renovated and repurposed the building for mixed use with commercial space on the main floor and 20 rental housing units on the upper floor, completed in 2014 by Freeman Contracting. They finished the building with heritage colors as bold as they are themselves, and accented, highlighted sections of the building architecture that draws in people's attention and has become a bold presence in our community. And all of this, with all of this going on around them, they worked in their open office space on the main floor, continuing to create food sustainability in an urban environment and contributing to a safe, inclusive neighborhood, with the development of a food forest on their property and on the 2 adjacent properties on Bray Road. And I don't know if any of you were in there while they were doing all of this, but I can tell you that is a feat, with constructions and saws and noise and people and water and everything. They didn't stop. That buzz in that building never stopped. They hosted workshops and events in the repurposed commercial kitchen and negotiated leases for 2 commercial spaces on the ground floor, filled by local businesses, Psychotherapy and Harmony Yoga and Wellness Center, that support the health and well-being of our community. And I know that this was not the easiest road that they could have traveled. But traveled it they have, by reaching out, taking risks, and facing challenges with both integrity and courage. And in keeping with the inclusive nature of their mandate, we know that Countil Green Community would be the first to join us in thanking everyone who contributed to this project, because they know they have not accomplished this alone, but have done it by building relationships and engaging the people who make up our community, making this a truly collaborative effort, working with real estate professionals, the City of Duncan, nonprofits, First Nations, community members, businesses, their board and staff, Van City, Credit Union, Island Planning Services, Fraser Campbell, Penny Lahan, Fraser Whittam, Doyle Childs, Dan Little, David Colson Designs. The list goes on and on. Countless volunteer hours by staff and board. And having already received the Lands Award from the Real Estate Foundation of BC in the nonprofit category back in 2014, it's no wonder that we're all here tonight to present the Countil Green Community the 2015 Commercial and Residential Development Award of Excellence from the City of Duncan. Join me in our congratulations and celebration of this building.
Give me a microphone. I'm all over it. So I am Judy Stafford, and this is Nadine Nelson, who's our acting president at the moment. Our president, Bev Suderman, is on vacation somewhere. Yes. Not due back for quite some time. That was quite some speech, actually. You thanked everybody that I forgot about them, so I don't know where you got all that information from, but that was awesome. I think that I do want to say that Mark Fulmer from Van City came up tonight and definitely is one of our stellar supporters throughout that project when we were constantly coming back for more money and extensions and et cetera, et cetera. He really went way above and beyond. And thanking everyone, of course, that Michelle mentioned for us. But I think what I would like to mention is that, yes, it's a building, and it's a big building, and it's a lot of work. But it's not a place. It's just not concrete and a building. It's really a space that's been created for so many people to enjoy. We just left the building to come here tonight, and a cooking class had just finished up where 6 families come every week to participate in a family cooking class. And they have been coming for about a year on Monday nights, and it's just a joy. There's babies everywhere, and there's kids sleeping in strollers in the boardroom, and it's chaos, and there's spaghetti and rice. Never do rice in a family cooking class, ever. You're picking rice out for days out of every crevice you can imagine. But it's also about the community that's really been created there. I just have to talk really quickly about a couple of our tenants upstairs. We always talk about our Rachel, who we invited tonight, but she has a Christmas concert tomorrow, and she's very stressed out. so she wasn't able to come. But these are students that participated in the VIU, Vancouver Island University West program, which is a workplace employability skills program for people with learning disabilities. And we've been working with the VIU now, this is our 3rd year. And so we now have not 1, but 2 graduates of this program in our building. And these are young women who probably would still be living at home. And the reason that they have managed to get an apartment with us is because they feel part of us. And they volunteer in our store, and they help in the cooking classes. And their confidence that they've gained through the program at VIU, but also in getting to know us, is just so heartwarming. And I just heard from one of the newest one who just moved in December 1st, right? She just moved in, and again came with her mom to check out this new place. And she said, you know, I know that if I ever get lonely in my new apartment by myself, I can just come downstairs. And that just really just makes my heart sing, and it's worth all the long hours and all the phone calls to Mark. We talk to each other when we're in Mexico too, right? He's on the beach in Mexico and I'm calling him, or I'm on the beach in Mexico, he's calling me. And all of those hours and aggravation and pain was really worth it when we get to support people like Brianna and Rachel. So thank you very much for this. And did you want to say anything? So, thank you very much.
So it's my pleasure to stand here and present an award that isn't always awarded every year. And it's sometimes awarded to more than one, but sometimes just one individual. And this is the 2015 Scroll of Honor, which I have a great pleasure to announce is going to Norm Jackson. He can stand beside me as I describe his life. This is called This Is Your Life. We're going to do it a little bit different than normal here, but I'm going to start off reading off the research piece. And we debated, Norm, whether we would have this as a roast, possibly, but we won't. We won't. He just moved. I don't know where he went. The Countil region is truly blessed to have citizens such as Norm Jackson, whose services to others is more than just voluntary activity. It's a way of life. Storm and Norman, and for his really close friend Storm, as he's fondly known, is one of the most recognizable people in the Countil Valley. His outgoing personality, generous nature, and timeless commitment to various charities and events makes him a well-deserving recipient of this award. Norm was born in Edmonton, Alberta, to parents Bob and Audrey Jackson. He has 2 sisters, Jacqueline and Kat, and they grew up in Kamloops, BC. His interests as a child were hockey, golf, and baseball, and he played junior hockey for the Penticton Broncos. He has one son, Bob, and wife Leslie, who have given Norm 2 grandchildren, Beth and Quinn. We find out a lot. Norm is a lifetime volunteer who has been a sports coach, mentor, teacher, and life coach. He is currently the head golf pro and general manager of Countil Golf and Country Club, a position he has held for the past 25 years. And there was one other detail I found about you. What is a fitter? Because you've been awarded that so often. Okay, fits golf clubs, okay. He hasn't fit my golf clubs. I still have the same set, yeah, exactly. He has held that position for 25 years. He has a career that's enabled him to do a tremendous amount of work for youth and in our community, promoting golf in local schools, hosting numerous junior champs, and donating used clubs to kids in order to get them going. Norm has been involved in hundreds of various events and charities in the Countil Valley. He has emceed major events, including the Countil Hospital Foundation Gala Dinner, Golfers Against Cancer, Rotary Tournaments, Tour de Rock, and Ronald McDonald House. And he has been an auctioneer and entertainer at many others. He's a member of the Countil District Hospital Foundation Board of Directors, and over the years has helped raise hundreds of thousands of dollars. He has worked with many local service clubs, helping them fundraise, including 3 Countil Valley Rotary Clubs, the Duncan Kiwanis Club, the Lions Club, the Turtle Rock Bike Run, and Ronald McDonald House. He has been recognized as a Walk for Alzheimer's honoree, received the Rotary Paul Harris Fellowship, and annually participates in the LS hockey and golf tournaments. Norm's smile is contagious. He truly gives of himself to others, and his sense of humor and kindness are what make him extra special. Now, before I actually award this to Norm, I'm going to ask one of his good friends to come up and add a few comments. And I'd like to invite Dr. Peter Leckie to come up and say a few words.
I've been all over the world with Norm, and whether you're in Dirty Nellie's pub in Bunratty Castle, where you meet Eamon, or whether you're on the second fairway at North Berwick Golf Course and you meet John on the walkway, or whether you're at Augusta National in Georgia and he walks into a trailer and comes out and says, I met somebody I knew and I've got free tickets for the first round of the Masters tournament. Wherever you go, everybody knows Norm. And the thing about it is that when you say his name, Stormin' Norm Jackson, two things happen. Everybody goes, I know him, and they smile. And there's a reason for that. I've said for many years that Norm has the mind of an 8-year-old, the body of a 35-year-old, and his driver's license says he's 65. But I'd like to add to that now. He has the wisdom of a true student of life. He knows people, and he is such a lovable guy, and he shares it all with them. He is loved by way too many women, but that's a good thing, because he loves them from his heart, and he's such a giving guy. For all the years that I've worked with him in the Hospital Foundation Board, he's just an incredible giver. And finally, he has the respect. He has the respect of his colleagues in the golf industry. He has the respect of all of the people that he represents when he's an MC at various fundraisers, whether it was the Clement Club last weekend, whether it was the Women Against Violence a month ago, whether it was the Hospital Foundation Golf Tournament, whether it's the Alzheimer's Golf Tournament. He has the respect of everybody that he meets and everybody within the area of the Cowichan Valley. It's truly a valley warmed by the sun, and the warmth is a great deal greater on account of Stormin' Norm Jackson.
So it is a real distinct pleasure to award you with the City of Duncan's Scroll of Honor for 2015. That will mean your name will hang on the wall here forever and ever and ever. I'd like to present this to you, and I'm not sure if you noticed that we snuck your son in. And I'd just like to say a hearty congratulations, well deserved.
So I'm truly, truly humbled. I'm surprised. I have my family here. Very emotional about the love that I get from them and the support. Richard, yes, I do work. I mean, I'm seeing all those things. I wonder when I do have time to work. Allison, I will get you for this. But thank you for that. You know, I feel very, very honored. I grew up in a small town, got to come to a small town in my work career, and there was always people giving, and they were such great examples. And I look around the room here, and the people that have been honored tonight here, they all love their community. And we truly live in a community that I've never been to a place where they're more generous with their time, their money. They care about everybody here. And I'm lucky I hang around with a good group of people, whether it's Jim Dias and all my hockey buddies who jump on board when there's a cause, or if somebody's struggling a little bit with life. And with my good friend Peter. Peter, you're an inspiration. I know things have been, you've had some challenges over the last few years, but now your life is beautiful with your new bride, Chris. And, you're an individual who has not only touched people with your healing hands, but with your generous hands. And you're one of my inspirations and one of my mentors as far as being able to give. And to my partner, Barb, who puts up with all the social functions that I volunteer for and do. Thank you for that, sweetheart. To my son, Bob, who he's following in my footsteps. He was honored as a sales rep of the year in the golf business here this year for British Columbia. And to my beautiful daughter-in-law, Leslie, who looks after those grandkids. And to all of you. I'm truly, truly humbled. Usually I'm not lost for words, but I am tonight. And my good buddy Ernie and my other buddy down there, who back in the day when we used to do lots of fun things, Bill, another great community giver. And so on behalf of my family and I, thank you very much. I'm truly honored.
So there ends the awards portion of the meeting tonight, in the evening tonight, and we have refreshments here for you, and we would really encourage you to stay around and visit and start the holiday season off with glee. So we're going to clear some chairs out of the back room, and the food's going to be put out. I think it is being put out. So please stay, and thank you very much for coming this evening.